UFC Vegas 80. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Looking forward to talking about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. And also note, I'll be live for the entire UFC Vegas 80 fight card Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Do not miss the fight companion. And let's get into the fights. Starting the card off, we have Montana De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich. All week, I've been picking Montana De La Rosa. I think she's going to be able to outwork Aldrich in the grappling. I think she could even exceed the striking ability and out kickbox her. Now, in the grappling positions on the floor, I think De La Rosa is going to be a bit stronger, a little bit more technical, and I see her winning it on the judges' scorecards. I expect a good 3 rounds. Strength of schedule wise, even though they're losses, I like the De La Rosa Tatiana Suarez loss for the fact that she was able to stop takedown attempts in that first round and threaten with takedown / trips of her own. And then obviously Macy Barber beat her. You dig back here with Aldrich. She beat Na Liang just a month and a week ago. No diss to Na Liang, but she's not UFC caliber, and she has a terrible fight IQ. And then before that, Lipsky beat her, and, Aaron Blanchfield beat her. Good win against Jillian Robertson, though. And then you can see here, common opponent Ariane Lipsky, as of recent, Montana De La Rosa had her way with her. I like Montana De La Rosa's game. I mean, you look at her losses, Araujo, a draw with Bueno Silva. She's taken on the best opposition. She's 28. She's got a lot of time to grow. And I know you might look, damn, 12-8-1, that record is ugly. Don't judge her based upon just the record. She's fought high-level opposition and lost, but still has decent moments in fights, and I think she's going to outwork Aldrich, winning a unanimous decision. Now, we got to look at the scales. The odds of, the scales changing things here, I would say probably 0, but we got to check them out. There is JJ Aldrich. Looks pretty normal on the scale, looks decent. De La Rosa looks decent on the scale. Neither of these ladies look like they had difficult weight cuts. It seems like they're pretty on point. And then we have here the face-off between these two ladies. I think that De La Rosa is a bit better. She's a little bit larger, and I think she's going to win the fight on the judges' scorecards. Now, as far as the betting lines here, -145 for De La Rosa, with Aldrich as a +125 underdog. If I'm looking at the prop betting side of things here, is it worth it to go De La Rosa +130 decision? I lean no. Just simply for the fact that I like the money line better, but she's probably beating Aldrich on the cards, right? -400 for over 2.5. I think De La Rosa is a very good money line play. She's a high confidence pick on this card. Ladies fight opener here of the whole card. I think we're starting it off with a sweet win, and I'm honestly confident in a perfect prediction. I do think she wins that decision, so maybe you sprinkle that +130, maybe. But money line is better at -145. I feel good about the 28-year-old. I think she has a higher ceiling than her opponent in JJ Aldrich, and I see her as the winner. So we're going Montana De La Rosa to get the W. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Aoriqileng. I'm picking Aoriqileng to win by knockout here. We got a real even line here for the fight. Pretty much even, Stevens. We'll talk about the odds in a moment. We'll check them out on the scales. What I've said all week is I think Aori has the nuclear option with the punching power, whereas Johnny Munoz, maybe a chain wrestle attack. He's got to find the sub. I don't think it's going to be easy to take Aori down. When I'm looking at them striking, definitely the harder puncher is Aori. I think he's the better boxer of the two. And I'm not overly impressed by the stand-up game of Johnny Munoz. Now, he's a well-rounded guy, decently at the least. But I think Aori can beat him. I like Aori to get a knockout. I'm not writing Aori off just because he took a bad loss to Ayman Zahabi, which I did predict that loss to Ayman Zahabi. Aoriqileng there on the scale with the front double bicep. There is Johnny Munoz looking shredded and confident. And then we got them facing off. Look at this. Look at the size differential. A little bit taller Aoriqileng. Munoz, not an overly menacing frame. And obviously the frames don't necessarily matter. But when we're in the grappling entanglements between these two, I think Aori's going to be physically stronger and be able to stop the Johnny Munoz onslaught. And Johnny on the feet is suspect to get chinned here. So I'm going knockout win. I'm going KO. Wow, I didn't shrink myself down for this one. That's terrible on my part. Let me shrink myself down so you guys can see this face off. Look at that. You can see the frames. You get what I'm saying here. I think Aori's going to beat him up. I'm going Aori for the win. Aoriqileng for the W. As far as the betting lines, underdog, slight underdog, -105 with Aoriqileng. Guys, I put him on this week's Best MMA Bets favorite underdog section because I predicted there was a chance he would be a dog heading into, Friday, which is now at the time of the recording, and fight day. -105. He's a slight underdog. -115 for Johnny Munoz. I like Aori to win. If you're going to throw down, money line's your best side. KO is not crazy wide at +245. I think it is possible he gets a knockout, though. He's got fight-stopping punching power. And Munoz has been knocked out before. He's got a knockout loss to Tony Gravely there. It's not like he's a chinny fighter by any means, but if Aori lands a precise punch on the feet, he's got the hands to do serious damage. The Mongolian murderer, I think he's going to live up to the nickname. I think he's getting a knockout over Johnny Munoz Jr. We're going Aoriqileng, and we're going KO in our second fight of the night. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight. Ladies, going after it. Kanako Murata versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Listen, guys, I think Kanako Murata is going to outwork Vanessa Demopoulos for 3 rounds. She's going to be physically stronger. She's going to be more athletic. I think she's going to be better in the grappling positions as far as from the top. Now, Vanessa Demopoulos does have good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Let's give her the respect she deserves. She has decent Muay Thai as well. But I think she's outgunned in this fight. 5 years older than her opponent. I know Murata hasn't fought in 2 years, but that loss to Verna Janjudova aged really well. She blew her shoulder out in that fight. So something I learned from that loss is this is a girl who's fighting with one arm and still trying to bring the heat. I like the side of Kanako Murata a lot. I think she's got big potential as far as her future in MMA. I think she can do work moving in, to the upper echelon of strawweight. I think we've seen Demop's ceiling. She's a pretty decent fighter. Recently snapped a win streak with a loss to Kowalkiewicz. I think Murata's going to give her a second loss in a row. Decision for Murata is my official call. And something we noticed here, when I brought up the, pictures of the fighters, we don't have a Murata on the scale. I'll just tell you guys, it's not really anything worth noting. Everybody was on weight for the card, but specifically her frame, she looked like a normal self, and you'll see her in the face-off. So there is Vanessa Demopoulos on the scale. There she is with the heart. And then we got the face-off. Murata and her a little bit thicker. I think she'll fill out heading into fight day. Something with Murata, she does have a thick torso. I think Murata's getting the decision, but Demop looks really shredded and confident and came in good shape. And, I do expect 3 hard rounds. It's not an easy win for Murata, but I do feel pretty good about her being able to outwork Demopoulos over the 3. -320, a little wide as a favorite. And then Demopoulos is +270 as an underdog. I'm going Murata for the win. Now, as far as how does she win it, I'm thinking decision, which is -130. She does have some good ground and pound, though. +700 by a KO, TKO. Demopoulos, remember this, she's never been finished as a pro MMA fighter. She is notoriously durable, though we have seen her hurt. Savannah Gomez-Juarez dropped her bad, and then she locked up that armbar. So really good jits, and if you're careless on the ground with Demopoulos, you can find yourself in trouble. I think Murata's going to fight smart here. I think she's going to dominate for 3 rounds. I think Murata is getting a unanimous decision. So I'm going Kanako Murata to beat Vanessa Demopoulos on this fight right here, this women's strawweight fight. Good ladies fight there. I'm actually really excited to see what happens. Next fight on the card, we have Nate Maness versus Mateus Mendonça. I've been picking Mateus Mendonça to win throughout the entire week, and I think that Nate Maness is still a really tough underdog. I like Nate Maness. I know Nate Maness. Years ago, when I first started the channel, he was one of the first fighters that said yes to doing an interview with me. So I always got mad love for Nate. So, I'll be rooting for Nate Maness. I got no bet on the side of Mateus Mendonça. I'm staying off of it because I think the line is overly swelled for a guy that's not proven at the UFC level. And Nate Maness has got wins in the octagon. He's 14-3 as a pro. I mean, he's only really got losses to decent enough names, right? Nurmagomedov, Tagir Ulanbekov, and then he also lost to Taylor Lapilus outside of the UFC. So 3, really good fighters that he's lost to. Mateus Mendonça just lost to Javid Basharat last time out. I'm 99% sure it's Javid. Yes, it is. He's still a good prospect. That Chute Box Diego Lima team, they're all fucking killers. He comes in with a power Muay Thai pressure style. He's got nasty low kicks. I think he can out-muscle Maness, specifically in the grappling. And I'm going to pick Mateus Mendonça, but I won't lie to you. I'll be rooting for Nate. I'll be rooting for Nate. I hope that he pulls this one off and gets a W. Now, as far as the fighters here, Mendonça looking like the fucking Iceman, Mr. Blue with the dyed hair. Honestly, I like the blue hair. It's a badass look for him. Definitely had an interesting weight cut. He looks real skinny around the neck area. Face tat and everything. Mendonça, like if you imagine you took off all the tattoos from Mendonça, like he just kind of looks like, you take out the cauliflower ears, take off the tattoos, you put glasses on, he looks like a science geek. But you add all the ink on him, to be honest, he's a badass fighter, don't get me wrong, but he's not one of the most intimidating guys I've ever seen with face tats. That's what I'll say about him here. And I don't think Nate Maness is going to be any bit intimidated. There's Nate. He does look scarecrow-like when he cuts this weight, and it's just how he tends to look on the scales. He really drains down, and it comes a lot out of his face. He's shredded to the gills. No body fat on this guy. I think he's a tough out still. And then you got a face-off between these two. Yeah, I think Mendonça's going to beat him. I'm picking Mendonça, guys. I'm going with him. But, you know, I think Nate Maness is always a difficult underdog. And plus 186, I personally believe the lines for this fight should look more like the Kowalkiewicz-Belbiţă fight. Like, I don't think Mendonça deserves minus 220 range. And, you know, he was as big as minus, 260 as a favorite? I don't know, 2-1 is all right, I guess. But Nate Maness is just coming off losses to good opposition. It's not like he's losing to scrubs. He's got 3 wins in the UFC. So I'm picking Mendonça, but he's an overly swelled favorite at minus 221. And Nate Maness at plus 186 is still a live underdog. I like Nate. You guys know, I'm rooting for Nate. I'll tell you guys straight. I'm rooting for Nate Maness to pull off a win. How does this fight go? Mendonça by decision is plus 250 with the sub from Mendonça at plus 800. That's a little wide for the sub. But he does have power, though. Mendonça's got some KO power. We'll bring up the KO prop, too. KO for Mendonça, plus 115. Let me look. Mendonça's last 5, we got submission, we got KO, we got decision, we got KO. And then if we dig into the career, how many wins by sub? 3 wins by sub. And still, Nate Maness went distance with Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm going decision. I think Mendonça beats him on the cards, and Nate still has a pretty good showing. We're going Mendonça in this fight. Let's keep running up. Let's get to the next matchup. The ladies going after it once again. We got some good ladies fights on this card. We got Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Diana Belbiţă. I'm picking Diana Belbiţă. I'm going underdog. I've been going for Belbiţă all week. I think that the intangibles favoring her, the youth, then the physicality edge, the height, the reach. I think she's got good hands on her. Solid kickboxing game. Kowalkiewicz potentially slowing down. You know, she's almost 38 years of age now, and I got to get some water in me, man. My throat feels tickly. I'm picking the side of Diana Belbiţă. I'm going for the Warrior Princess. I think she's winning the fight, and I think she's going to deliver some big punches, too. She needs to stay off of her back, and if she is on her back, she needs to fight like hell to get back up. Kowalkiewicz is going to look to close the gap and body lock her, dragging her to the floor. I think Belbiţă's length can keep her on the outside, and I think she can win a hard fight. She could hurt Kowalkiewicz with punches, too. Belbiţă can rip some shots here. Let's bring up the scales between these two savages. All right. There is Belbiţă on the scale. There is Kowalkiewicz on the scale. And there's a face-off. I mean, the height difference doesn't look as substantial. Belbiţă's the call, guys. Come on. Belbiţă with even, you know, whatever you call that, the thing around the throat. I don't remember the name. I like the look, man. Holy shit. Belbiţă, if she wasn't fighting, I think would do very well in modeling. She just happens to be a badass chick. I think she can beat Kowalkiewicz here, guys. Kowalkiewicz has got good wins in her career, and she's been around for a really long time. Funny, they have the same records, right? Kowalkiewicz has been in there with high-level opposition time and time again. Belbiţă, you know, she's taken some L's. It's not like she's fought the best of the best. Beat Oliveira, lost to Gloria DiPaula, which isn't a good look because she got cut from the UFC. She actually lost to Mariah Oliveira, and then Belbiţă beat her. That's why MMA math don't really work. We got a 3-fight win streak here. Herrig, Juarez, Demopoulos for Kowalkiewicz. I'm going with the younger Belbiţă. I still think she's got room to grow, and I think we're looking at a maintenance skill set of Kowalkiewicz or potentially a declining skill set as opposed to, excuse me, Belbiţă, who is going to get better every time. Plus 127 for Belbiţă. Let's see. Belbiţă to win by a decision plus 165 and a KO's at plus 800. I probably am going to take decision for Belbiţă. I'm going Diana Belbiţă to win the fight. I'm going Diana Belbiţă to get it on the judges' scorecards. DB, Diana Belbiţă to bring some dynamite and win as an underdog here. I like the plus money side. If you're betting it, money line, underdog, Belbiţă. Let's keep on running. We got more. We're not done yet. Next fight on the card is our featured prelim of the night. It's Philipe Lins versus Iwan Cutelaba. I am picking the side of Iwan Cutelaba to beat Philipe Lins in this fight. I think he's going to come out like a bat out of hell, and I think he could potentially stop Lins. Now, I respect Lins' striking from the outside. He's a physically strong guy, former heavyweight that's really dedicated his life to becoming a 205-pound fighter. Like, I'm very impressed by him. Like, look at Cutelaba, right? Looks solid, shredded, good biceps, jacked. All right. Looks intense there with the scream. But damn, Lins is shredded and in really good shape. Granted, he was so lackluster against Maxime Grishin. I think he's going to struggle with the wrestling and the pace of Cutelaba. So my pick is Cutelaba. I'm going to call a Cutelaba knockout. I think he can put a pace on Lins and hurt him here. Minus 135 Cutelaba. Lins is plus 115. Let's see. Cutelaba to win by KO is plus 135, and Cutelaba in round number 1, plus 175. All right. I think he is going to put a high pace on Lins. You could stop him early. I wouldn't go trying to chase the first round prop, though. Maybe a money line Cutelaba. Just recognize that he has some stoppage losses as of recent. Lost 3 fights in a row, right? Kennedy Nzechukwu, Johnny Walker, and Ryan Spann. But note something about all those guys. They're kind of freakish framed fighters with awkward athleticism, and length is a real thing. Now, Lins is going to have a 3-inch reach advantage, which is a factor, but he is 38. He's not a freak athlete. Granted, you got to respect the win streak that he's on. He's got a nice 3-fight win streak flowing for himself. I still think Cutelaba can beat him. 9 years younger. It's light heavyweight, though, so don't get obsessed about the age as much as you would if it was like 55 or, 170 even. I'm going to pick Cutelaba to win it. I think he can get a TKO. Lins is going to be a tricky out, and it wouldn't be crazy if Lins beat him. So, Cutelaba, he wasn't like a most confident pick of the week, but I do think he can get a stoppage. I do. I believe in him. I'm going to pick Cutelaba to get a finish. Specifically KO. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez starting off the main card, and Bill Algeo is my lock of the week. Now, we have seen some odd line movement. Algeo was a bit of a favorite earlier on in the week, and now he's actually shifted into a plus money dog. Is it inside info? Is it just a lot of money being thrown down at Hernandez as a dog? I think that Bill Algeo is going to put a pace on Hernandez and win the fight. Late second, third round submission is my official call. I don't love Hernandez at 145. I think he's much better at 55. Algeo's a high-paced guy, and I think he's going to be really tricky to deal with. You look at Algeo here. Joanderson Brito win, Herbert Burns win, and then a TJ Brown win, which the lone loss is a split with Andre Fili, and Andre Fili is a very good fighter. I think that Bill Algeo can outwork Hernandez. I think he can beat him, guys. Potentially a later sub, specifically because it's 145. Jim Miller win last time out. Billy Q loss. Moicano lost by sub. I think Algeo can find that submission in the second or third round. A tired Hernandez gets finished off. High output Algeo. I'm picking the Algeo side, guys. Bill Algeo for the W. There is Senior Perfecto Bill Algeo on the scale. Looks like himself here. Looks thin. And then there is Alexander Hernandez. Looks a bit buff. But look at the height difference, man. Real length advantage for Algeo. I do think Hernandez has a little more pop on his strikes in the kickboxing, but I'll also expect him to slightly slow down. I'm going Senior Perfecto Bill Algeo. He's a lock of the week. I'm riding with my guy. Now he's an underdog lock. Plus 105 for Algeo. Hernandez at minus 125. He opened that near even. Was a dog around plus 120. We saw Algeo as wide as minus 145. And now he's plus 105. Algeo to win by a sub, plus 325. I do think Algeo wins. I don't think the sub is a crazy call. I'm going Bill Algeo, Senior Perfecto, for the win, bro, and he's going to get it done. Algeo to make it 7 locks in a row. Remember that. This right here is for 7 locks in a row, and I think we're going to hit home with this one. Bill Algeo, the call. He's taking out Alexander Hernandez. Let's get it. First fight on the main card, starting with excitement, with the lock of the week on the line. Make sure you tune into the Fight Companion, and, let's sweat it out together. Next fight, Drew Dober, Aoriqileng. I'm picking Drew Dober. I do think he can knock Aoriqileng out, even though Glenn is notoriously durable. It also wouldn't be crazy if Dober won a decision. It's not like he can't go distance here. More athletic, harder puncher. He's coming off of a knockout loss, though, and I don't like the wide tag. 4 months ago and then 4 months and 2 weeks ago. Both these guys coming off knockouts. For Dober, it was his first in the UFC, second ever. For Glenn, it was the first KO loss of his entire professional fighting career. Could that affect him going into this fight? I definitely think Dober's power is a big factor, and he could hurt Aoriqileng, especially if Giagos was able to put him out in that way. Dober could knock him out too. Maybe a more calculated Dober, though. I'm going to predict that he does get a knockout, but as I've said, I don't like the lines. I don't like minus 400. There is Aoriqileng. To be honest, he looks like he's aged a little bit, man. He kind of has, I don't know, King of the Hill type look to him. I don't know. And then we got Crimson Chin. We got Drew Dober, a.k.a. American Dad himself. Then we got the face-off. Expect a good scrap between these two, man. I'm going to say Dober does TKO him. He'll put his hands together and get a stoppage. But don't be shocked if Glenn goes long. Glenn's got a draw, too, to Grant Dawson. Granted, he was getting fucked up for the first 2 rounds. Then Dawson gassed. And that was some time ago now. Glenn plus 300 as an underdog. Dober minus 400 as a favorite. The lines of this fight are terrible. These are not betting lines that I like looking at. These are not betting lines that get me excited. The reality here is simple. It is an overly wide line, though I think there is a real chance Dober wins the fight. Dober by KO minus 200. It's stupid. It's just too wide. He deserves to be like a minus 200. Even I'll put it as far as fucking you want to do 3-1. But damn, minus 400 favorite Dober. I just don't like the tag. I'm picking Dober to win. I do think he probably wins. But the betting side is hideous in this fight. Hideous, I should say. Hideous. All right, let's get to the featured bout. We got Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley. I've been picking Joaquin Buckley to get the win. I think he could potentially knock Alex Morono out. Specifically watch for his high kicks. Morono's got good bounce to him, and he definitely has some punching power, and he can box at a pretty solid level. His MMA striking is good overall with sneaky jiu-jitsu as well. He's coming off of a guillotine win over Tim Means. Buckley on the opposite side just high-kicked Andre Fiallo into a different dimension. Obviously, Fiallo and Means just fought, and then Tim Means fucked him up. So I guess the win over Tim Means is more impressive than the win over Fiallo. But that high kick was something special. Granted, that guillotine was pretty special for Morono, too. I just feel like Buckley's athleticism and punching power is a difference maker. I think he could hurt Morono. I think he could knock him out. It wouldn't be crazy if he won a decision, though. It's Joaquin Buckley for the win, guys. I'm picking him here in this fight. Now, as far as the scales, let's check these guys out. Let's see how they look on the scales. There is Joaquin Buckley on the scale. He looks shredded as fuck. He's in great shape. Seems serious as hell. There is Morono, who, always looks like he has a tricky weight cut. Looks a little sucked in. And there was the face-off between these two. I'm picking Buckley. I'm picking Buckley, guys. I'm saying Buckley does it. I think Buckley knocks him out. Watch for the high kick. Watch for the high kick. Now, minus 175. Buckley is the favorite. Morono, the plus 150 underdog. Betting side is okay. It's not, to be honest, it's not really that great at minus 175 for Buckley. Because Morono's a tricky out, but I think the power differential is real. What's a KO prop? Buckley by KO is only plus 100. They're fucking us over, guys. They're fucking us over with ugly-ass lines. I think Buckley could end up winning the decision. What's the decision? Plus 425. I'm going to say Buckley wins the fight. I think he can pull it off with his athleticism and hurt Alex Morono. I'm picking Joaquin Buckley to do it. I think he beats Morono. I like Morono's game. He's got a good bouncy style. He can definitely strike with high-level guys, and he's also got tricky grappling. But I think the athleticism advantage towards Joaquin Buckley, ultimate difference maker, and that gets him the win. Buckley for the W. Let's jump to the co-main event of the evening. It's Joe Pyfer versus Razak Alhassan. I've been picking Joe Pyfer body bags to get it done and style on Razak Alhassan. I think he's going to win the fight. I think he could potentially knock him out or submit him here, to be 100% honest with you guys. Pyfer's length, 2 inches longer but 4 inches taller. Young prospect on fire. Razak Alhassan hits really hard, I agree. And he knocked out Claudio Ribeiro last time. I mean, it's impressive, but Ribeiro has like that open Muay Thai stance where Pyfer, a little more of an angle to him with a wider kickboxing style. I think he can outdog Abdul. I think he can outwork, out-technique. I think he's just going to beat him up. I think Joe Pyfer is going to win this fight, so I'm picking Joe Pyfer to get it done. Inside distance, I could see Pyfer pulling it off by a knockout. There is Razak Alhassan. He's got the fucking chain on, looking a little bit like a dog out there. Hey, he's a big underdog, so he's got to channel some fucking some dog energy. Then we got Pyfer. Kind of looks Bo Nickolish, actually. They kind of look similar. Beard looking solid. Got some length to it. I don't know, a little scarecrow-like, though, in the face. Not in the frame, because he's got good muscularity. He's a pretty jacked dude, and I think he's dangerous here. I think he's a good prospect. Size advantage. Razak Alhassan, obviously, formerly a welterweight inside of the UFC. Also 38. Pyfer only 27. I'm going with Joe Pyfer. I'm going with the prospect. I'm going to believe in the prospect. Now, as far as the lines for the fight, Pyfer is minus 370. Razak Alhassan plus 295. So Pyfer is a bit of a wide favorite, but at the end of the day, it's because he shined really bright against Gerald Meerschaert in the debut, and he seems like a problem. What's Pyfer inside distance? Minus 275, that sucks. Pyfer by KO is minus 150. Pyfer by sub is plus 375. Note, Razak Alhassan has only been KO'd one time, and Chaos Williams caught him with a huge punch. And that kind of started this Chaos Williams hype train, which ended up actually, not being that true. But, Chaos Williams still a tough out, but just an honest thing. He caught Abdul with a huge punch, and we thought that maybe he was like the MMA's Deontay Wilder. He did the same thing to Morono. Picking Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer wins this fight. I think KO is live. I think he can sleep Razak Alhassan in the second or third round. I'm going Joe Pyfer to get it done, guys. Yes, he's a big favorite. Somewhat unproven, but I think this is a favorable matchup for him here, and I think he beats Razak Alhassan. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Grant Dawson, Bobby Green. I'm picking Grant Dawson, guys. I've been picking Grant to get the win all week. I think he is going to put it on Bobby Green in the grappling department. That's where he wants this fight, and that's where he's going to take this fight. Grant Dawson's going to get Bobby Green down. It's not about if, it's about when. I think that Grant Dawson's striking is okay as well, and I think he'd be good enough to be competitive enough on the feet with Bobby Green where he can set up his takedowns. And when he gets on top, he's going to work well from top with control, wear on Bobby Green, grind him out, and I do think he eventually submits him. I'm going Grant Dawson by a submission in this fight here. Let's check these guys out on the scales here. Let's check these savages out. Grant Dawson, shredded, intense. Listen, he's the closest thing we got to the Dagestanis in America. He uses the control from top extremely well. Bobby Green, looking like Bobby Green does. Leaned up, coming off a submission win over Tony Ferguson. Grant Dawson just dominated Damir Ismagulov. Snubbed handshake. Bobby Green says, I ain't shaking your hand. Talking about, video of him talking, saying some negative things about Bobby. Grant Dawson was surprised, though. Grant Dawson was surprised. Grant's like, damn, you're nice to me off cam, and now you're not giving me any love. Hey, you guys are going to fight it out tomorrow. They're going to fight it out tomorrow. We're going to see who takes it. Listen, I think Grant Dawson's going to use the grappling. Even in the exchange of words, Grant Dawson said something like, yeah, I'm going to fucking hump your leg for 25 minutes. Grant Dawson's coming to embrace the grind, and I think Bobby Green does know this, and he's probably a little irritated at that fact. Bobby Green wants to strike. Bobby Green wants to let the hands fly and be in some wars. Well, Grant Dawson's style is to go towards a path of least resistance, use his strongest asset, which is his grappling, and he shall succeed. Minus 520 is a hideous money line, but it is what it is. Plus 395, Bobby Green as the underdog. And then we're looking at, let's see, Dawson to win by a decision is plus 350. I got a cough, guys. Holy hell. Holy shit. And then we got Dawson by sub plus 125, my official call. I don't think it's going distance. Minus, 210 for under 4.5? I think it's likely. I think we're looking at 5 rounds for Grant Dawson to work. He's going to embrace the grind, wear on Bobby Green, and I think he's eventually getting the win via submission over Bobby Green, guys. That's what I predict is going to happen here. Listen, guys, but we're not done just yet. We still got more. Let's talk about some parlays to close out the show, all right? What are we thinking about with parlays? Well, this is the post-weigh-in parlay. All right. What do I want to do here? What do I want to do? Post-weigh-in. Oh, my gosh, bro. Best fight odds crushes me with this. They put them all the way down here. All right. Let's throw Grant Dawson. I think he's a real confident winner. Grant Dawson with who? Well, we could go Grant Dawson with the side of Bill Algeo as a dog now for plus 150. Don't want Algeo win. What else can we do for you guys? Dober and him is minus 185. That's shit. But I do have a good feeling Dober's going to win, even though the line sucks. And I've been hating the line all week, but I saw the face-off. I'm like, I like Dober. Minus 173 with that one. Adding in Diana Belbiţă, plus 254. De La Rosa, Murata. Take Murata out, actually, for a second. Let's look at this. We got Dawson, De La Rosa, plus 104 for those two. I think we got two sure winners there. I actually like this parlay a lot. Algeo, but I'm just a little bit weirded out by the line flip. But hey, fuck it. Algeo's the lock of the week. I think he's going to win. Unless there's some weird injury we don't know about. If it's Algeo, his normal self, we got 7 in a row with the locks. Plus 319. Add a little more steam to it. You could then throw in the, oversized favorite of Joe Pyfer, plus 431. And then I want to add in underdog Diana Belbiţă, plus 1,100 and, 21. That's pretty damn good. Aoriqileng, plus 2,000. Holy shit. Now we go Murata, plus 2,900. Now we're going fucking wild mode. Now we're going crazy here. Is Dober on it? No, he's not. Plus 3,796. This is just Wild West territory. You guys know I get carried away talking about the parlays. It is what it is. You've seen them all week. Listen, I think Pyfer and Glenn is pretty live. I like Glenn with Pyfer and Glenn. What am I saying? Pyfer and Dawson, not Pyfer and Glenn. That one I like. If you're looking for Aldrich, though, I think Aldrich is a good favorite early in the night. Go with first fight of the night and main event. I don't know. It's got a real good feeling about these calls. High confidence picks on both sides. Plus 104 for that. And I think De La Rosa is going to look good. Starting the night off, let's say you just went De La Rosa with Algeo, plus 244. And then you threw in the slate of, okay, listen, let me get the big boy at the top, Grant Dawson. Now we're in the plus 300 range. You can go crazy chasing the big plus. Throw in some underdogs. Like if we were like, yo, I want to go badass mode, I'll go badass mode. Aoriqileng, Diana Belbiţă, plus 349 with Montana De La Rosa, plus 679. Then if we add a little more steam to it, Bill Algeo, what are we at? Plus 1497. And then if we go absolute savagery mode, and we'll throw in Grant Dawson, now we're at plus 1848. I got a good feeling about this one. Pyfer should win, plus 2,368. Some different ways to play it. You guys know what the most confident picks are if you watch this week's Best of MMA Bets. No confidence has shifted as far as picks officially. I think Cutelaba's in a dogfight with Lins for sure. I think we got good matchups on this whole card. I'm excited to see Morono, what she can do. And obviously the big fights, you guys know I'm hyped for. We got a great card. UFC Vegas 80 is like underrated heat. So join me for the Fight Companion, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be live for it. Tune into that. Much love, my people. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'll be honest, man. I'm fighting these allergies over here. I don't know what happened. I'm still a little clogged up top, but it don't matter because the content's dropping every day of the week, and I'll be live tomorrow for the whole card. Subscribe if you're new and turn the post notifications on. Don't just leave them on personalized. Put them on all so you don't miss a video, because I got daily content dropping on the channel, and I'm trying to drop some news reaction rants more too. So keep your eyes peeled for it all. Keep it locked in right here at MMA Experts channel. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the picks. Throw some of your favorite picks out there. Maybe disagree with what I'm thinking. I want to hear it all. And if you got nothing to say in the comments, we just enjoy the content as always. Drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.